You know, there's no turn it on here, turn it off here. It's just 110% at all times. So, you know, if I burn out, I burn out.
Pierce had it poked away, stolen by Jordan. Lojas down on the floor. It's loose to Humphries. 4 to shoot. Humphries 3.
Yeah, I'm 10, 12 years in. I got 4 MVPs and 4 championships. Like, but do I still want to do this shit?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
You know how hard it is.
Some people say, I want to go play baseball.
Kevin's a great player. I think that his legacy is complicated. You know, I don't like any guys who join super teams. I'm biased against LeBron when it comes to comparing him to Michael, joining Dwayne and those guys. Because, you know, when we had this debate, and LeBron's amazing and spectacular, but I was like, Michael didn't join anybody. He just kept getting his ass kicked and got bigger and got stronger and finally knocked the wall down. And, you know, Kevin, who's a great player, you know, other than the fact when he joined the Warriors, he hasn't been successful anywhere else. And I don't hold that against him, but he wants to be considered in that list. He's not on that list. He's not on that list. He's a great, great player, but he's not on that list. He wants to be like, wow, he's not in the GOAT conversation, because you're not, plain and simple.
Damn.
You had great success when you joined the Warriors, but not only did you not have success, you actually flamed out in those other places. You got swept last year in the playoffs. You didn't even make the play-in this year.
You like the idea. Jordan coming up with the steal.
Oh, look
again.
at that. The 40-year-old dives to the hardwood.
One joke on a podcast didn't just cross the line. It had people questioning Kevin Durant and LeBron James's credibility in seconds. They sat there laughing about one of the darkest moments in the life of the greatest player we've ever seen, acting like it was nothing. But the basketball world heard every word. And when Charles Barkley responded on live TV, he didn't just defend Michael Jordan. He peeled back the curtain on everything that feels off about today's superstars.
We come to practice, he's on one leg. Like he was hurt the second year, he was on one leg the whole year and played 82 games. Wow. Like, and so he practiced every day and he played every game on one leg. And so he's like, man, MJ, why don't you just sit up? How can I be the leader of the team and sit out and y'all going through all the credit? I gotta be there.
I twisted my ankle and I had a teammate, David Greenwood. He says, you know, you twist your ankle, young fella, come over and sit with me. You know, this is, you need to. I said, no, man, I'm trying to make a name for myself. There's no way I can sit. You know, I need to get out there and show what I'm capable of. I want to play. I want to win. I want to make an impact.
LeBron dropped a podcast called Mind the Game, and the whole pitch was that it would be about real basketball talk with real hoop minds. But anyone who actually watches knows the vibe is different. Every few episodes, they start throwing little jabs at the legends, especially Michael Jordan. They can't resist that man's name, not even for one episode. Then Durant pulled up as a guest. The convo shifted to how draining NBA careers get, how after 10 plus years, players start wondering if they want to keep pushing. Durant started breaking down that moment when a player looks in the mirror and questions if the grind is still worth it.
Yeah, I'm 10, 12 years in. I got 4 MVPs and 4 championships. Like, but do I still want to do this shit? You know what I'm saying?
You know how hard it is.
Some people say, I want to go play baseball.
Right?
Yeah. And then I want to come back. Or some people say, I'm going to go 22 straight.
And it's just basketball. At the end of the day, it's just basketball.
You know, it's all about winning championships and winning.
Artis Gilmore told me one time, he played for Chicago, he said, if you expect to play a long time in this league, you better quit mopping up the floor. And I thought, well, he's crazy, because that's what basketball is all about.
Bird takes it away from Wilkins, goes to the floor and gets it up ahead.
Then he dropped the line that flipped the whole internet. He started talking about how some players deal with pressure differently, and he said some guys decide to take a break and try baseball for a while, then maybe come back later. Then he added that others play 22 straight seasons without stopping, while giving this small smirk that said everything. Everybody with common sense knew what he was aiming at. The baseball comment was Jordan, and the 22 seasons was LeBron hyping up himself. And LeBron thought it was comedy. He started cracking up like Durant just landed the best joke of the year. But here's what both of them ignored, or straight up didn't care about. Jordan didn't walk away from basketball in 1993 because he was tired, bored, or stressed about the grind. He left because his father had just been murdered. James Jordan lost his life during a robbery that summer. Michael Jordan, at the absolute peak of greatness, stepped away to honor the man who raised him. His dad always wanted to see him play baseball, so Jordan did exactly that to carry his father's dream forward. So when Durant throws that baseball line out with a smirk, it's not just casual, it feels careless. He's touching one of the most painful moments Michael Jordan ever lived through and turning it into a punchline while promoting a podcast appearance. And LeBron laughing with him, that's basically backing it up, saying, yeah, this is funny to us.
You know what I'm saying?
You know how hard it is.
Some people say, I want to go play baseball. To have a long career, that's the goal, to be in the league for 20 years. That's the goal.
That moment didn't sit right with a lot of people, and it shouldn't. Let's set one thing straight. Jordan didn't retire after getting bounced early in the playoffs. He didn't leave after choking a final series. He walked away after winning 3 straight championships. A full 3-peat. He reached the peak, stayed there, and then stepped away while going through something no human would ever wish for. Calling that quitting isn't just wrong, it's disrespectful. And the wild part? The 2 players taking shots, Durant and LeBron, are the same 2 guys people constantly debate for switching teams, demanding trades, and bouncing around the league to keep chasing different situations. Nobody's calling them quitters. But that's exactly why the irony here hits different. Kevin Durant went to the Golden State Warriors right after they beat him in the playoffs. The same squad that went 73-9, the squad with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green already locked in.
This rest stuff just drives me crazy. You're playing basketball for a living, okay? I understand if you're working in a coal mine that you may need a rest day after it. You're playing basketball.
But you have to really play hard. Does that hurt you physically?
No, because when I play hard all the time. You know, there's no turn it on here, turn it off here. It's just 110% at all time.
All right, Laker Nerd asks, why is the triangle offense less utilized in today's game?
To try to run the triangle offense right now, it'd be very challenging, just because how the game is played and also how defense is covering.
10 to shoot. Jake going right to the rack. No defensive communication.
What do you think of when you hear the term load management thrown around?
It shouldn't be needed, first and foremost. You know, I never wanted to miss a game because it was an opportunity to prove. It was something that I felt like, you know, the fans are there to watch me play. I want to impress that guy.
Like you mentioned a little bit about today's game, because we had Clever on here and he talked about load management. He said, I don't know what the hell that is. Where is it going? And that's number one. And number two, how do we get it back?
Even for me, I love the NBA game, but then I turn on to a game, right? And then the stars are not playing because of load management. It's hurting the game.
That move is still talked about as one of the softest decisions in league history, and people haven't forgotten it. After leaving Golden State, Durant wanted out of Brooklyn the second things got messy. Then he went to Phoenix and eventually wanted out of there too. This is the same guy taking shots at Michael Jordan, calling him a quitter for honoring his father's dream after his father was taken from him. That's wild. And LeBron isn't spotless either. When things weren't working in Cleveland for the first run, he dipped to Miami to link up with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. When that situation ran its course, he bounced back to Cleveland. Then when the Cavaliers got complicated again, he packed up for Los Angeles. Every time the road got bumpy, he found a new door to walk through. So for these two to mock Jordan stepping away after winning a 3-peat while grieving his father, that takes a level of nerve most people don't even try to have. But Durant kept pushing the message anyway. He said the real accomplishment in basketball isn't championships, MVPs, or dominating the game. It's just playing 20 years. Not greatness, not legacy, just sticking around. And LeBron nodded like Durant just dropped some deep, wise knowledge. This is exactly where their whole argument falls apart. Jordan never cared about sticking around just to stick around. He was chasing greatness every season. His whole mindset was simple: be the best version of himself and win at the highest level. He wanted to dominate on both ends and leave everything on the floor every night. If that meant a shorter career, he accepted it. Jordan even said, if I burn out, I burn out. That just means my career's short and I'll go play golf. That wasn't a joke, that was his real mentality. Compare that to Durant's line about how the goal is just to play 20 years. That's not greatness, that's survival. That's just hanging around long enough to say you stayed. Meanwhile, Jordan played 13 full seasons and in that time won 6 championships, 6 finals MVPs, 5 regular season MVPs, 10 scoring titles, and made 9 all-defensive massive teams. That's not impressive. That's nearly flawless basketball packed into basically a decade of work. Now stack that next to Durant and LeBron combined. They've been in the league for 39 seasons together, almost 3 times Jordan's full run. And after all that time, they have 6 championships between them, 5 MVPs, 6 finals MVPs, 5 scoring titles, and 5 total all-defensive selections. In almost 40 combined seasons, they produced less than Jordan did in one stretch of his prime. Think about that. Twice the years on the court, half the accomplishments to show for it. And that's exactly why Charles Barkley finally stepped in. He saw the comments flying and said he'd heard enough. When someone asked him about Durant's legacy on live TV, Barkley didn't dodge anything. He said exactly what everyone else was thinking. Kevin's a great player, Barkley said, but his legacy is complicated. Then he broke it all down. Barkley made it clear he does not respect players who jump to super teams just to make life easier, and he didn't hesitate for a second when calling it out. Barkley didn't hold back when he brought up LeBron teaming up with Wade and Bosh in Miami, and he made sure to compare that to Michael Jordan's path. Michael didn't join anybody, Barkley said. He just kept getting beat up and got bigger and stronger and finally broke through. And that line hit people right in the chest because it's real. Jordan stayed in Chicago through all those brutal battles with Detroit. He didn't run, he didn't form a loaded squad. He fought until he finally won. That's a different kind of mentality. Then Barkley shifted to Durant. He pointed out something nobody in the media ever says out loud. Outside of Golden State, Durant hasn't had real success anywhere. He got swept in the playoffs in Brooklyn. Then in Phoenix, he missed the playoffs completely. Every time Durant tried to be the main leader without an elite team around him, everything fell apart fast. Barkley said it straight. Durant wants to be in the GOAT conversation. He's not. No hesitation, no nice wording, just the truth. And for the first time in a long time, someone with a platform actually pushed back. The LeBron and KD media wave has been rolling for so long without resistance that people forgot you can challenge these guys. But Barkley wasn't only defending Michael Jordan, he was standing up for basketball's whole identity. There's a real pattern happening in the league lately. Modern players are trying to rewrite history. They're trying to make past legends seem outdated or overrated so their own resumes look cleaner. And LeBron has been the main voice behind this for years. Remember when he said, "We done with the 90s?" That wasn't some throwaway comment. That was him trying to wipe away an entire era that defined toughness and greatness in basketball. He's been doing this for a long time. Instead of elevating himself by what he accomplishes, he keeps trying to pull down the past, make it seem like Jordan had an easy run, like the competition wasn't serious, like the grind didn't hit the same. But the facts shut that down instantly. Jordan never begged for help. He didn't jump around forming super teams. He stayed, he fought, he suffered, and he won. That's the exact difference Barkley was shining a light on. Respect in the NBA isn't handed out, it's earned through real dominance. And if you're going to take shots at Jordan, your own resume better be bulletproof. The disrespect gets even worse when you look at how Jordan approached playing the game itself. When he entered the league as a rookie in 1984, he played all 82 games, every single one. And he wasn't the only Iron Man back then. That season, 40 players played a full schedule. Jordan averaged over 38 minutes a night as a rookie and didn't blink once. From the moment he stepped into the NBA, he showed he was built for a different level of competition. And let's talk about the era he did this in. Basketball was way more physical. Traveling was tougher. Teams flew commercial, not private. Some teams had one trainer. Practices were longer, harder, and way more intense. Back-to-backs were constant, and players still suited up every night because that was the standard back then. Look at the numbers. In the 1999 to 2000 season alone, 58 players played all 82 games. 58. Now compare that to today. The past few seasons have set records for the lowest player availability in league history. Players sit more, play less, and rest more than ever, and yet they're the ones trying to downplay the achievements of the guys who grinded through a completely different level of physical demand. And all of this is happening at a time when players have every advantage imaginable. They fly on private jets, they have full medical teams, they have sports science experts, custom nutrition plans, and training facilities that look like futuristic futuristic labs. They have everything, yet they're playing fewer games than ever. Why? Because the mindset shifted. Jordan explained this years ago without calling anyone out. He said he never wanted to miss games because every night was a chance to prove himself. Fans spent hard-earned money to watch him, and he felt a responsibility to impress that one person sitting way up in the top deck who saved up just to be there. That's real respect for the game. LeBron, on the other hand, has only played a full 82-game season once in more than 20 years. One time. Meanwhile, players like Larry Bird, Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, and Allen Iverson did it multiple times. But the guy the league pushes as the face of basketball, the one chasing Jordan's legacy, has done it once. And when LeBron sits out for rest, it sends a message across the entire NBA. If the biggest star can skip games, why shouldn't everybody else? And that mindset trickles down fast. Suddenly, role players start taking rest nights. Bench guys start taking rest nights. And the league slowly shifts into treating regular season games like they're optional. Now we're even seeing players miss playoff games. That would have been unthinkable during Jordan's era. His era was different because he set the tone. Players showed up, they battled, and they played through pain. Jordan himself once missed 64 games with a broken foot, and management wanted him to shut it down for the year. Jordan refused. When he finally came back, they put him on limited minutes, but whenever the game was tight in the final seconds, he demanded to be on the floor. The crowd lost their minds every time he checked in, and he got his way because leaders lead by example. That's what the face of a league is supposed to do. But the bigger problem today is the culture itself. In this podcast era, tearing down legends has turned into entertainment. It's not just tolerated, it's encouraged. Now you've got players like Jeff Teague, Tracy McGrady, Dwayne Wade, Gilbert Arenas, and now Durant and LeBron, all taking shots at Jordan and Kobe. Everyone wants a piece of the guys standing at the top of the mountain, and the quickest way to get attention now is to try to drag those legends down. But here's the thing, Jordan doesn't need to clap back. He doesn't need to jump on a podcast or fire off a response. His 6 championships respond for him.
Kobe didn't want to disappoint his fans, especially the ones in the 300 sections that saved up to watch him play. I remember asking him why he couldn't just sit a game out because he was hurting. He said, "What about the fans that saved up to watch me play just once?" He never forgot about his fans.
His perfect finals record responds for him. His highlight reel responds for him. And most importantly, the mentality that built the NBA as we know it responds for him every single time. Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, and Larry Bird earned everything they received. When brands came calling with endorsements, sponsorships, and national campaigns, these players had already dominated the game. They had the proof, they had the wins, they had the hardware. Today, things work differently. Players sign max contracts and get shoe deals before they've played a single NBA minute. They get paid based on potential instead of performance. And when that happens, entitlement slips in. When everything gets handed to you before you've proven yourself, the hunger fades. The fire isn't the same. You don't value the grind the way the legends did, because you didn't have to fight through the same obstacles to get the rewards. Jordan's rookie contract was tiny compared to what first-year players make today. He had to earn every dollar, every sponsorship, every piece of respect through pure work and results. That hunger is what turned him into a legend, and that's exactly what so many modern players are missing today. So when Durant says the real goal is playing 20 years, he's accidentally showing the difference between his era and Jordan's era. Jordan wasn't trying to stick around. He wanted to dominate, to become the best, to build a legacy nobody could touch. And he did it in 13 full seasons. Durant and LeBron have had nearly 40 combined seasons, and they're still chasing the shadow Jordan left behind. Here's the twist nobody is bringing up. NBC recently brought Michael Jordan back into the NBA universe. And why would they do that more than 20 years after he retired? Because even now, Jordan has more influence than LeBron James or even Adam Silver. When Jordan speaks, it lands differently. If he says players should compete, should show up, should respect fans, that message hits people hard. It changes culture instantly. That's Jordan's real answer to Durant and LeBron. Not a podcast clapback, not a social media post. His response is the fact that he's still the most powerful name in basketball. His response is that his voice still carries more weight than anyone currently playing. His response is that when the league needs help fixing its own culture, they don't call LeBron, they call Michael Jordan. Durant and LeBron can laugh on their podcast all day. They can poke fun at championships, at the triangle offense, at the era Jordan built. But at the end of the day, everything still circles back to Jordan. Every debate still uses him as the measuring stick stick. Every all-time list still puts him at number 1, and no amount of long careers or stat padding will ever change that. Charles Barkley understood something major when he went on TV and spoke out. He wasn't just defending Jordan, he was defending basketball, because there's a dangerous cycle forming right now. LeBron and KD keep chipping away at the past to boost themselves, but the same culture they're creating is the one that'll come after them next. Their retirements are coming sooner than they think, and the next generation, kids who never watched them play, will talk about them the same way they're talking about Jordan and Kobe right now. They'll call them overrated, say the competition was weak, point out their failures, turn their losses into jokes. It's the same loop they started, and they won't be able to stop it once it comes full circle. That's why Barkley's message mattered so much. You can't rewrite NBA history just because it doesn't fit your narrative. You don't get to dismiss the 90s when that era built everything these players benefit from today. The modern NBA exists because of the foundation Jordan, Magic, Bird, and that whole generation laid down. These players owe part of their careers to the very era they tried to downplay, and whether LeBron and KD want to admit it or not, the same era they're disrespecting will eventually apply to them too. One day they'll be the ones in the hot seat, and when that moment comes, no podcast joke, no slick comment, no laugh-off moment is going to save them. LeBron's recent behavior shows the shift has already begun. Dropping a podcast wasn't about honoring basketball. It was about steering the narrative and keeping control of how people see him, calling himself the GOAT in interviews, constantly saying he didn't have help, staying in the spotlight even after 2 decades. People are starting to catch on, and when he laughs at Jordan's real pain like it's a comedy bit, moments like that start cracking the image he's built for himself. You can't joke about a legend's hardest moment and expect the basketball world to shrug it off. LeBron has always been a master at playing the media, but this time, the mask is slipping, because when legacy, truth, reputation, and emotion collide, no level of polished PR can protect you. Michael Jordan never cared about playing 20 years just to say he did. He chased perfection. He squeezed everything he could out of every season. He won championships, won MVPs, dominated both sides of the ball, and left every ounce of effort on the floor. If that burned him out early, he accepted it. That mentality, that obsession with greatness, is what separates legends from players who are just piling up stats. In one podcast episode, LeBron James and Kevin Durant tried to reshape the entire story of basketball. They mocked the era that built the league. They joked about one of the most heartbreaking moments in sports like it was casual. They assumed nobody would push back, but Charles Barkley did, and he made sure the whole world heard him. Because the GOAT debate was never just about numbers or trophies or records. It's also about respect, about how you carry yourself, about the standard you set. And in that category, Michael Jordan still runs the game without competition. No amount of podcast laughs or 20-year careers will ever change that. Greatness doesn't need 2 decades to prove itself. It just needs the right moment, the right season, the right era to show the world what a standard really looks like. Jordan had 13 seasons of that level of dominance, and those 13 are still more than enough to keep him at the top by himself. If you respect the real history of basketball and think players should stop twisting the past to make themselves look better, make sure you hit that subscribe button, drop a comment, and let me know. Did LeBron and KD cross the line? Or is this all just part of the game? Because this conversation is nowhere near finished, and we're only just getting started. Like, share, and subscribe for more.